Good morning to all of you that are here or good morning to all of you that are on the West Coast or Mountain Time. Good afternoon to those of you that are here in Central Time or those of you on the East Coast. My name is Chris Weaver, and this is an introduction to eXp Realty. And before I jump into slides, what you see on your computer screen right now are the beautiful smiling faces of Juan and Bettina Sistoke, who changed my life. A little over 3 years ago, Bettina asked me to talk to Rob Flick. I was doing training and recruiting for Better Homes and Gardens here in the Dallas-Fort Worth area. And I literally got up and left less than a minute into the presentation because he offended my consciousness of what the real estate market was. That's what disruption is all about, people. That is what it means to be a disruptor. He disrupted my thinking. And what I want to ask everyone to do, if you are not with eXp, if you're not one of the 26,000 agents that are a part of eXp, if you're as a guest viewing this presentation or a friend of you bullied you into coming and watching this, I just want to ask you to suspend for about 20 to 30 minutes your decisioning around what you think about this or what you thought about this or what your impression of eXp is. I found it to be something that was life-changing for me. And as my friend Rob Flick says, eXp, we're looking for people that are looking for us. So if at the end of this presentation, your interest is piqued, you're thinking, wow, you know what, that is something that I want to know more about, then please reach out to me or Juan or Bettina or the person that invited you, and we would love to give you more information. But this is an introduction to eXp Realty. So I actually went 2 slides ahead. So disintermediation. This is a big word that I didn't even know this word existed until about 6 months ago. And disintermediation is the technical term for the reduction in the use of intermediaries between producers and consumers. And I want to give you a very specific example of disintermediation that I think we all can understand. And that is shopping for groceries. Okay, so back in the old day, the manufacturer would make the food, they would send it to a distributor. The distributor would deliver it to the retailer, who would sell it to the consumer, and the cost per unit was, let's say, $50. Along comes Walmart, Kmart, big box retailers, and they took out the role of the distributor, and the manufacturer was able to deliver directly to the retailer that delivered to the consumer. And we had a price reduction of $46.75. This is why, let's say, Best Buy was cheaper than maybe Sears, right? Or Walmart was cheaper to buy your groceries in the grocery store because Walmart was able to get things directly from the manufacturer. And then we have the new reality, and that is the manufacturer, by use of the internet and the web, can get things directly to the consumer. And that is Amazon. So this is basically an illustration of going from the old way to the Walmart way to the Amazon way. This business model of disintermediation and disruption has happened in most industries. We don't go to Sam Goody to buy a record anymore. We download it. We don't even what's funny is we don't even download it on iTunes like I used to. It's iHeartRadio and Spotify and Pandora. It's even evolved since that. So with books, I'm no longer going to Borders. I'm getting them from Amazon. Blockbuster becomes Netflix, Yellow Cab, Uber, AOL, Google, Circuit City, or Best Buy, Amazon. And in photography, I don't use my camera and take a picture and take my film to the camera store. They develop it and give me a picture. I just do it all using my iPhone or Facebook. I heard a statistic, and if I get this statistic wrong, please forgive me, that Airbnb has more listings of rooms than the top 3 hotel chains combined. That is disintermediation and disruption. Now, how does that relate to the real estate industry? And I want to explain this in a way that makes sense. And as a former owner, I've owned 3 different brokerages. I've managed many others. And this is the way it was by law until 2009. In 2009, laws changed, which allowed for companies like eXp and others to not have to sell a franchise to a local broker owner. So we have a national company. This is Better Homes and Gardens, Coldwell Banker, almost all of the national companies. And these national companies take 3 to 10% off the top of every commission. We know this as a royalty fee or a franchise fee, right? And that comes off the top of every commission. There's a regional owner with most of these companies, and that regional owner sells a local franchise to a local broker owner and takes from 3 to 10%, as does the local broker owner. So how does disintermediation work in the real estate business? That same national company uses a cloud office. So we don't have the local brick and mortar. We also don't have the local franchise. eXp is able to hire local brokers that work for the national company and operate in that cloud office. So we no longer have the need for a regional owner or for a local broker owner to have bricks and mortar and a place for us to come to, and that local broker owner taking on all of the liability for the activities of those agents. What this has allowed eXp to do is create agent ownership. And I'll talk a lot about that in future slides, but agent ownership and agent attraction and retention is no longer solely done by the local broker owner. It is done by us, the agents, which frees up to 20% for this 20% that used to be paid out to the regional or the local broker owner that can be paid into agent ownership and agent attraction and retention. Now, let me just I'll absorb that for a second, and I want to take you to a different space. I want to take you to the space of how do I make enough money to create income like an annuity. And if you talk to any financial advisor, they will tell you that in order to create a $3,000 a month or $36,000 a year passive or passive income or residual income, you are going to need to put $1 million into the bank or into an investment and get 3.6% on that. Between 3.5 and 4 is what they all say. And that's going to create for you your $3,000 a month payment or income. And when I think about retirement, I think there's no way in the world I'm ever going to save $1 million, right? My retirement plan before eXp was to work until I died. Literally, that was my retirement plan. And as I say that, I know that that resonates with many of you. Most of us, maybe not most of us, I was not responsible enough to save effectively so that when bad things happened in my life, I had this to take care of me, right? So I found myself in a very difficult situation, which I'll explain in a minute. But I want to talk about a 3-year plan about how you can create very simply and very easily a $3,000 a month residual income, a passive income through eXp's revenue share. And I'll speak briefly about revenue share and then go into other things. So with eXp's revenue share, the 3-year plan for me to create this $3,000 a month is this. I am going to have an 80-20 split on my transactions with the $16,000 cap. I'm going to do my regular real estate like I have done for the past 15 years, sell the houses that I sell, and not save a penny of that like I usually do. And that $16,000 cap, which is being paid to EXP, is going to be redistributed by EXP to the person who attracted me and sponsored me into EXP. So I am going to do the same. I am going to sponsor and attract people to come into EXP. And in my 3-year plan, I am going to, over the next 3 years, or my first 3 years of being at EXP, I am going to attract 6 people. That's not 6 people a month. That's not 6 people a year. That's 2 people a year, 1 person every 6 months that is a capper. And if I do that at the end of 3 years, now I'll be making money each of those 3 years, but at the end of those 3 years, from those 6 people on that first level, and for those of you that are familiar with profit share at KW, which goes down 7 levels, this is very similar to that. If you have questions about the specifics of it, definitely reach out to one of us. We can explain it. But on that first level, the people that I personally introduced to EXP that are cappers, I will get $2,800 of that $16,000 cap. That is $16,800 per year. So as they do their transactions, I get my bit of that 20%, that $16,000 paid to me. So at the end of 3 years, if I have 6 cappers, I'm getting $2,800 a year per capper, $16,800. Now, part of my 3-year plan is to be so attractive that my 6 people will also attract 6 people. So if those 6 people attract a total of 6 people, that second level is $3,200. Now that's not 6 attracting 6 each. I'll talk about that later. That's 6 attracting a total of 6. So I think this is a very realistic 3-year plan. I am going to personally attract 6 people and help those 6 people to attract 1 person each over the next 3 years. If I do that, if they attract 6 cappers, those 6 people, that's an additional $19,200. What's $19,200 plus $16,800? You guessed it, $36,000 or $3,000 a month. So I'll just put this out. I want to put a bug in your ear to think about what is easier. Attract 6 people who attract 6 people, or save $1 million. Well, I know the answer to that for me. It's attract 6 people who attract 6 people. That for me is something I see as reasonable to accomplish in 3 years. I do not believe it's reasonable for me to save $1 million in the next 3 years. This for me is a much easier path to that $3,000 a month. Now, you're already thinking ahead. If you're watching this and thinking about this, okay, so if I'm getting $2,800 each person, then what if I do more than 6? Well, let me just expand your mind and let's think about $10 million in the bank. Now, for most of us, $10 million in the bank is something that we could never fathom. It's so out of the realms of reality that if we did not inherit that, there's no way we're ever going to make that. So $10 million in the bank at 3.5% is $350,000 a year or $29,000 a month. So Chris, how do I do that? How would I do that? And we're going to use the same 3-year model and the same 80-20 split with a $16,000 cap. And what we are going to do is, as Rob Flick says, 10 who get 10, we are going to attract 10 frontline people who are cappers over the next 3 years. That's 3.3 people every year. So basically what we're talking about is more than 1 person every 3 months, just a little bit more, right? So in a year, I'm going to do 3 1/3. So if I were to actually attract somebody once a quarter for these next 3 years, 1 capper once a quarter, that would be 10 people. At $2,800 per month, if we're talking about 10 cappers, that's $28,000 a year from my front line, 10 people that I personally attract. Now, this is where I want you to put your mentoring hats on, where I want you to put your teacher hats on. And I know that at every company I worked for as an agent, because I was one of the top agents, they always wanted me to help the new people. They always wanted me to help other agents, and I was happy to do it. But you know what? They were leveraging me for their gain. This finally gives me an opportunity to leverage myself for my own gain. Because if I help these 10 people attract 10 each, 10 times 10, so 10 people that have attracted 10 people, that's 100 people on that second level, which is $3,200 per person. If I've attracted those 100 cappers, 10 who get 10, that's $320,000 a year. That's $348,000 a year. Now, if you're saying, Chris, that's impossible, that's too good to be true, afterwards, I'll give you my contact information, reach out, and I can put you in contact so you can talk personally with people who are doing this and who have done this. This is not out of the realm of possibility. This is not even close to the realms of insanity. This is very realistic. This is so much more realistic than me saving $10 million over the next 3 years. I don't know about you, but I have the wonderful ability to spend 120% of every penny that I make. Those numbers don't add up, but I only have two problems: math. It's another one of my silly jokes, sorry. So I want to open your mind again to one other concept. If you are a producer like I was, and you're used to doing 10, 12, $15 million a year, 50, 60, 70 transactions a year, or if you're on that path, you know what it's like to get recognition. Many of you might have gotten your name put on the guitar as a rock star. Some of you might have gotten a glass trophy. Some of you have the ability to put a different color designation on your business card from your company. I have never received stock in a NASDAQ traded or Wall Street. I've never received stock for my own production. The Icon program, and we'll get into more details about this in a minute, is that after I cap, if I do an additional 20 transactions, I icon. There's some other things that you need to do as well. And by iconing, I get back my $16,000 cap in stock. I'll repeat that. If I cap and do an additional 20 transactions in my year, I am gifted back the $16,000 in stock by EXP. That's amazing. Nobody's ever even, I've never even seen anything like that in any other company. For those of you that are top producers, for those of you that are used to working the hours that it takes to do 10, 12, $15 million a year or more, this is for you. All right. Glenn Sanford was a tech guru. He got his real estate license. He had been a part of a couple of internet startups, launched his real estate career in 2002, was a good KW agent, did more than $60 million in real estate a year, and at the right time was and in the right place to be very productive as a real estate agent. And then the market crashed in 2008, and he needed to figure out, okay, where do we go from here? And in 2009, the laws had changed so that you didn't have to have a franchisee. You didn't have to have the local broker owner. You could actually employ a broker from the head office, and that broker would be able to be the sponsoring broker for real estate agents without that broker having to be an owner. And this was groundbreaking in 2009. And Glenn founded the first cloud-based brokerage, eXp Realty. Now, one of the things that he did is he looked at Keller Williams and the amazing things that it was doing for its agents and said, okay, I want to do the same types of things, but instead of relying upon the local office being profitable in order for me to receive my profit share, why don't we take it off the top? Why don't we do it as revenue share and do it off the top? And so that's what he created. EXP has grown in ways that no other company has ever grown. Here it says it's 20,000 agents. Right now it's over 26,000 agents in all 50 states plus 5 Canadian provinces. We are already in the UK and Australia, and we're working on Puerto Rico and Mexico and so many other places. Any of you that have international ties, now is the time. Now is the time to get involved. He's able to do this. He was able to create this company because of our cloud campus environment. He was able to create a cloud office. We don't have desk fees. We can work from anywhere. There are no brick and mortar costs. So which means we don't have expensive leases, which means our company can invest in agent support and technology, paperless transactions, instant access to training and support. Our cloud campus environment enables all of that. And I'll show you what that looks like in a minute. I know that that can be a little bit intimidating for some of us, but especially now in our environment of being sequestered at home. What an amazing thing to be able to be a part of a company that has spent the last 11 years dedicated to the virtual office. Live training. Okay, so I've talked to a number of agents who joined their company, not EXP, and got their license 6 months ago, 8 months ago, and now here they are in the middle of their new agent training, and all of a sudden they can't go to the office. So EXP provides live training, more than 40 hours every week of live training from industry experts about all of the different things that we need to know about, and it's all done in a virtual environment. We also have access to an archive of recorded sessions. This is unprecedented, and I'll talk about one other thing. When I had my office, I was the trainer. If there was an other office that I was competing with, then we competed against each other, and it was either him or I, or she or I, who could say, oh, well, we're a great trainer, that's why you should join us for a new agent. EXP is not limited to my locality. So when there is someone within our world who is a top person at FSBOs, let's say they're a top FSBO person in Tennessee, that Tennessee FSBO person can do a FSBO course in our cloud environment. It is not limited to me. I was the cap in my organization. I am no longer the cap in my organization because I have access to experts across the country and around the world. Real-time support. It was always so frustrating for me that I needed to rely upon the availability of an individual. And also I had to rely upon the expertise of a very small group. So I'll throw this out to you. The tech support that EXP has is not the guy in the office who happens to have worked at some point in time in his past in a tech company. It is somebody who has been educated on how to be a tech support person. And that person supports all of us. And we have, I think that when I joined, we were 400 live staff. I think now we're up to 800 staff that are working virtually to support us. These are transaction specialists. These are tech support. These are finance experts. You know, the financial expert at my company was me, and that's scary. Next, international collaboration. We are not just limited to how we do things and how we see things here in America. We have access to the rest of the world and a way to actually scale and grow that will include the rest of the world. We can share best practices among peers. We can benefit from a referral network that is more powerful than anything I have ever seen. When I was a Tom Ferry coach, one of the things that we would tout as to why you wanted to be in Tom Ferry Coaching was the referral network. And you know what? It's an amazing referral network. This is the only thing I've ever seen that is better, is our internal referral network within EXP. We get paid. I don't have to have my license in Florida in order for me to get paid as an agent here in Texas. It's all done through the same company, through the same broker. So if I refer something out to somebody in Florida and we agree on a 25% referral fee, when that closes, that 25% goes automatically into my account. It is so much easier than any other type of referral, which is intercompany referrals or even inside company referrals that I've ever seen. All right, equity opportunities. For those of you that understand the stock market, you will understand this better than most. I know of people who joined EXP just because of the stock. EXP is traded on the NASDAQ. Our stock symbol is EXPI. Any information that I give you about this and the stock, I am not an expert. Anything that I say is just my opinion. Please verify anything that I say. These numbers, though, in this are true. This is directly from the EXP website, so this is true. We have a sustainable equity plan. You earn shares on your first transaction with EXP. You earn more shares when you fully cap. You earn shares when an agent you sponsor closes their first transaction. So these are three ways that you earn shares from doing what you would normally do as an agent at any company. So by doing a transaction, by capping, and you know what? We all know that when we move companies, somebody follows us. So that person that follows us, when they do their first transaction, we're getting shares as well. Next is that Icon Agent Award that I talked about. This does not apply to everyone. Most of us can only dream of doing that level of production. But for those of you that are at that $5, $7, $10 million mark, why wouldn't you strive for this? Why wouldn't you invest what you need to invest in order to get to this point? It is you being awarded back your entire cap, the entire $16,000 in stock by attaining those production goals and some cultural goals within your anniversary year. They want you to come to their events. They want you to come to do things. They want you to talk about what it's like to be an Icon agent. Next, and I think this probably is the most impactful part of these equity opportunities, the Agent Equity Program. So remember how, for those of you that are still with another company, remember how you're paying royalties or franchise fees. So instead of paying that, you can enroll with EXP to pay 5% of every transaction commission with stock at a 10% discount. So what that means is if our shares are trading at $10, you get to buy for $9 with up to 5% of every transaction commission that you do. I know of agents that through these three methodologies in 3 years have acquired 40 and 50 and 60,000 shares of stock. Okay, I'm no genius, and I've already explained how I'm not very good at math, but I know how to multiply 50,000 times 10. That's $500,000. I have never gotten $500,000 from any company that I've ever worked for just by doing my job, in additional bonus and commission, in addition to my bonus and commission. It's amazing. Life-changing. Okay, I want to talk a little bit about eXp World. It is the real estate office of the future. It is the platform. Virbela created it. eXp went and bought Virbela. And Virbela was providing online learning environments for Harvard Business School, Penn, Stanford, for these other companies. And we adapted it for us. We were their largest customer. And it is our online cloud campus. It's like going into a staging area within a game for those of you that are gamers. And just to give you a little bit of an idea, we can go in and sit down and attend a training. We've got our little avatars. You need to talk to somebody in accounting. You go to the accounting department. You sit down at a table. You take the number. You sit down at a table, and you're sitting face to face through your avatar with an accounting person. Teams are able to get together and collaborate. Teams, there's daily trainings where our training goes on. If you're ever just not sure what to do, I don't know who to talk to, I don't know what to do, you just walk up to the information desk and ask the information desk, so I don't know what to do, where do I go? And not only will they tell you, they'll take you by the hand, literally, go with you to that place that you need to go to and make sure that you're talking to the right person before they let you go and go back to the information group. That is with the information booth. That's amazing. That's the type of support I've always wanted as an agent. Okay. You can go into the office from anywhere, anytime. Now, I don't believe the sound is going to work, but I'm just going to go. There's a quick little video. I'm not going to go through it all, but this is what it looks like in the world. That is somebody's avatar. Here he's looking at the calendar. This is from 2017, so it's even better now. Here's him walking through the cafe. Agent services. Oh, I've got a question. Oh, I'm going to a meeting. Let me go into this meeting. Watch the video. It's really cool. Next. There are times when I need to get face-to-face and knee-to-knee with a client. There are times when you need to. I understand this. I also understand that sometimes it might not be appropriate to meet at a Starbucks. For me, it's always appropriate to meet at a Starbucks because I love Starbucks. And I actually have I've been to 30 different Starbucks in a single day. No word of a lie. I did it. I thought I was going to do a Guinness Book of World Records record. It was not even close. The Guinness Book of World Records is 168 Starbucks in a single day. How they did it, I have no idea, but they did it. I can't. But Regis Business Centers, one of the largest, like WeWork and workspaces, we have access to their shared workspaces for free as an EXP agent. And in addition to that, if you need to use their conference room or office, you can. And I know a number of people who have larger teams have actually gone and gotten Regis, have gotten like Regis office space and things like that. And we get a discount because we're part of EXP. Oops, let me go back. So, in addition to the world, which is that cloud campus, we also have some top tools that help us do our real estate business. The first thing we have is EXP Enterprise. And this is where we go in and we can see transaction details, commission and cap status, equity program reports. We can look at our revenue share at a glance. This is like our foyer for all things that are EXP. SkySlope is one of the paperless transaction management systems. And it's like .loop or DocuSign, very, very similar. And it is the one that EXP uses. We can review transactions right now. We can share what we're viewing with other agents that are involved in a transaction. State of the art. It definitely works. Now, how many of you are on Facebook? Facebook has actually created for EXP Realty and other large companies in what's called Workplace, our own private Facebook-like environment. It gives us the ability in our own work environment to interact with each other and to get information. So I'll just throw this out. When I have when I have somebody that is from out of town that is asking me, say, hey, Chris, can you help me out? Can you help me find a realtor? I can go into the Indiana room and say, hey, is there anybody in Bloomington that can help so-and-so because they're moving to Bloomington and they want to buy a house. And I can arrange that and find that person here by going to the Indiana page, right? So this is basically like Facebook just for EXP agents. Share files, view files, it's very effective. CRM and lead generation. So I have never met a CRM I like. And of all the ones I don't like, this is the one of the ones I don't like the least, if that makes any sense. Inside Real Estate does a good job. It creates a WordPress website for you, and there's optional in-house lead generation, which is KV Core. For those of you that have used Conversion or KV Core, which are the Inside Real Estate products, what we get for free is what an agent from another company would have to pay a close to $1,000 setup fee and a few $100s a month. It truly is amazing what we get for free. And KV Core, we have the ability to buy, and it's called Making It Rain. And for a couple $100s a month, we can get some automated advertising going on and lead generation. And I know people that have gone from using other like LionDesk or these other lead platforms to KV Core and had the same level of results and saved hundreds, not thousands of dollars a month. If you want more information about this, if this is something that is key to your business and KV Core would be a benefit to you, definitely feel free to reach out. And I will not just give you my own experience, but connect you with people who are using it at an expert level. Marketing and branding. Just like with every company, we have a marketing center, templates for our business so that we can go in and create the things that we need to create. And it is at the same level as any other company that I've worked at when it comes to the online platform of being able to create your marketing and branding. I thought I was going to go into an environment where there was a great step down in the marketing and branding because I was going from Better Homes and Gardens to eXp. I did not experience that. It is just as good, if not better, than anyone that I've ever used. Okay, what's next? So I hope that I've given you enough information about EXP that I've piqued your interest to want to talk more. If you have questions that you want to ask me about something that I've said or about something that's in the presentation, definitely feel free to send me an email. By the way, that's me. That was me going for another Guinness Book of World Records. That's me at the MGM Grand in Las Vegas at Summit a couple of years ago, maybe 3 years ago, when I was a Tom Ferry coach, and I was trying to go for the record of the most high fives in an hour. I failed miserably, and all I got was a sore hand from it. But I did get to go high five with about 8,500 people. So that's my email address, chris1234weaver@gmail.com. This is my cell number, 972-338-0763. If you've got questions or you need help, you need clarification of something that I went over, please feel free to call or text me. I'd love to talk to you. Okay. If you want more information and you want to get it passively, like I did, go to join.exprealty.com, and the slides from this presentation and all of the information that I talked about is available there. You also have the ability there at the join.exprealty.com website to go and put in an application. And just so you know, if you put in the application, it starts the process so that you get access to the world and access to the information. We don't transfer your license, you transfer your license. So after this is filled out, it would be 2 or 3 more steps down the road before your license would actually transfer. So you can start this process even if you're not looking at moving to EXP until later. Next, talk to the person who invited you. They know why they invited you. You know why you accepted their invitation. Talk to them and find out what their experience is. Next, forward this or another EXP presentation to your friends. Ask them for their opinion. Ask them to watch it and give you their opinion. I know that's what I did. I sent it to people and said, am I crazy? This seems too good to be true. And for me, it really did seem too good to be true. And guess what? It is really good, and it is true. And number 4, join us again next Friday. If you just came here for the presentation, I did a training on how to work in our business in the environment of COVID-19 from 11 until 11:45. The person that invited you to this will have the information on what we're doing next week. And we'd love to have you again next Friday. For me, it took me seeing this presentation by 3 or 4 or 5 different people and different slides and different way of presenting. And everyone puts a different emphasis. Everyone puts a different emphasis on a different syllable. And so definitely come back and join us next Friday or reach out to one of us in the time in between. I want to thank everyone here for their time. Feel free to reach out if there's anything I can do to be helpful, whether it's about EXP or not. These are tough times. Be a beacon of hope. Be a ray of hope in your community. That really is what we have the ability to do as real estate agents, as professionals. Thank you so much, everyone, for your time. I'm going to go ahead and just check real quick if I had any chat messages that I need to respond to. So I agree. No, that's so true. So stock is over a co-pack. Okay. And can we get the recording? Yes, this is recorded, and the recording will be made available. Daniel, if you reach out to me, I can make sure you get it. I believe it's going to be posted on everywhere, and it will definitely be available to you. Thank you very much, everyone. Have a great Friday. Have a safe Friday. Peace out.